Adapting, perfecting, making us the world's most experienced airline for passenger safety. So for your first flight into this new world, travel with an airline you can rely on. Ready? Let's go further together. Qatar Airways.
와. 와. 아.
From local radio to the White House to a worldwide audience, CNN's Michael Smerconish has had a heck of a ride. Join Michael for an entertaining and poignant look at his one-of-a-kind career. Things I wish I knew before I started talking. Sunday on CNN.
In response to the recent wave of worldwide protests, sports brands are joining the ranks of corporations and organizations to support and fight against racial injustice. Nike recently pledged $40 million over the next 4 years to support the Black community through organizations working towards social justice, education, and equality. Basketball legend Michael Jordan is pledging, along with Nike's Jordan brand, $100 million over 10 years to back organizations dedicated to racial equality, social justice, and greater access to education. And Adidas will invest $120 million over 4 years in grassroots programs to support and empower Black communities and to create a scholarship program for Black students. The brand is also pushing change from within with a new hiring initiative to increase diversity among its staff.
왜 이렇게
For
우
more information on how you can help fight racism and injustice,
힘드네.
go to
아유.
CNN.com/impact.
The National Hockey League is set to return to the ice on August 1. Its season was postponed in March due to the pandemic. Now it will begin in earnest with 24 teams in Toronto and Edmonton, where players and staff will be inside a containment bubble. Players will be tested daily. As the commissioner says, health and safety are top priorities. Anyone who tests positive will immediately be isolated from the team and put in a secured zone. Some news is coming into CNN this past hour. The passing of a legend in the world of English football. Jack Charlton has died. He was 85. He was part of the team that won the 1966 World Cup. And as a player, he spent his entire career at Leeds, although he went on to manage other teams after that. CNN contributor Darren Lewis joins me now live from London to talk about it. Darren, hello to you. Thanks for coming on, and give us a sense of how big a figure he was.
Well, Natalie, as you rightly say, very sad news coming out of the UK this morning about a guy who was an extremely charismatic and popular figure but a legend on the pitch as well. Anyone who follows British football will know England has never won the World Cup since that momentous year, 1996, when Jack Charlton lifted the World Cup alongside his brother Bobby. They beat West Germany in the final of the competition by 4-2. At club level, he made a number of record number of appearances for Leeds, 773. He was the ninth highest goal scorer in their history with 96 goals. And as a manager, he went on to manage Sheffield United and Middlesbrough and Newcastle. But it was his unprecedented success with the Republic of Ireland, for which he is best known, Natalie, really lifting hearts and taking them to the kind of heights that they could never have dreamed of, taking them to a first ever European Championship in 1988 and the quarterfinals of the World Cup in 1990. He was a tremendous man, and I think that the tributes that have come in today, and I'll talk a little bit more about them in just a second, but those tributes tell you everything that you need to know about the impact that he had at club level, at international level, and as a manager.
Yeah, that 1966 World Cup win was quite an epic win. And he spent his entire career at one club, Leeds United. How rare is that these days?
Extremely rare, because the money that's involved in football at the moment, as you viewers will know, Natalie, it means that players often go where the money is, where the biggest pay packet is, where the biggest deal that they can get is. And loyalty is an extremely short supply in the game of soccer, but he was an extremely loyal servant to his club, and as I said before, you know, he'd made that record number of appearances. He was also a member of the side that lifted the 1969 league title and the 1972 FA Cup. He was a guy who was a leader on the field of play, a guy who could inspire other people around him, and a guy who wasn't afraid to maybe dish out a few choice words if need be. He was very much somebody that Leeds rightly say will remain in football folklore forever, and his achievements at the club are unlikely ever to be surpassed.
Well, he will be remembered for a very long time. He was a giant. We appreciate you reflecting on his life and his career. Darren Lewis. Darren, thanks so much. A much anticipated day for Japanese baseball fans to tell you about ended in a wash of disappointment. It was the first day the Nippon Professional Baseball League was allowing people to attend a game after the stadium had been closed for months due to COVID-19. But just 20 minutes before the big game between the popular Yomiuri Giants and Yakult Swallows, a torrential downpour forced organizers to postpone. Some of the players tried to cheer up the crowd like that, but fans were clearly frustrated. Luckily, 5 other baseball games were able to go on as planned Friday as Japan's restrictions continue to ease. And that is CNN Newsroom. I'm Natalie Allen. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. New Day is next.
An overdue reckoning on race, an economic crisis, and an election right in the middle of it all. The 2020 conventions are coming. Stay with CNN.
To open doors, to develop contacts, and to unlock secrets, it takes trust.
It was the first time he really came out of his shell in front of the camera.
Trust that you'll listen.
So great that you're here today. Just highlights what's making a difference.
That you'll be honest. I don't want to pry, but what sort of conversations do you have with them? Trust that you'll be accurate and you'll be fair.
It was an unprecedented move, very eerie. All the roads have been closed off. Describe the scene that you arrived to.
The Apache attack helicopter.
This is what Captain Wales has been flying. What do you do with Crimea?
This is Europe's problem.
Do you want talks with them?
What is the point of talking on?
With fatigue
to monitor the government crisis. This was the Duchess's first news interview. Rare access indeed.
That's what it's all about.
Max Foster, CNN.
I'm Clarissa Ward in London, and this is CNN.
Connect the world with Becky Anderson.
It all starts here. Fighting, creating, changing, connecting. That's why we're here. We live here, we work here, we're from here, and we'll go wherever the story takes us.
I'm Becky Anderson in Tehran.
We are in Jerusalem. Real news that shapes our world. Exploring not just what's going on, but why. I just want to press you on one further point. Getting perspective on this region from this region. Places that many of us know, but few of us get to see. Watching past and future colliding. It all starts here, and that's why we're here, bringing you the world from our Middle Eastern hub.
Connect the world with Becky Anderson. Monday through Friday, only on CNN.
I'm Sam Kiley in Abu Dhabi, and this is CNN.
The United States is in the middle right now, even as we speak, in a very serious problem.
But we learned the U.S. set a new single-day record for cases at more than 63,000.
I think the numbers are going to look worse as we go into next week.
Everyone is exhausted, and patients here are very sick.
There seems to be this lack of understanding that we are in one of the most extraordinary public health crises that our nation has ever faced.
The fact is that the president has been a failure in every way.
President Trump commuting the prison sentence of Roger Stone, a longtime associate who was convicted of 7 felonies.
He was convicted of lying to Congress in order to protect President Donald Trump, and then President Trump turns around and commutes Roger Stone's sentence. This is what corruption looks like.
Good Saturday morning to you. You are watching New Day. It is July 11th. I'm Victor Blackwell.
And I'm Abby Phillip in for Christy Paul today.
Now, another record-setting day of coronavirus infections across the country. The U.S. added more than 66,000 cases in just one day. That's the latest number into CNN. It is the 7th time in 11 days that the U.S. has broken that record.
The epicenter is now in Florida, and that's where President Trump was yesterday for events not related to the coronavirus response. The state recorded more than 11,000 new cases and 93 deaths alone on Friday. And after facing weeks of pressure, Florida is now releasing details on coronavirus hospitalizations.
Let's take you to Texas now, where the latest numbers there have more than 10,000 COVID patients in hospitals. The governor has already rolled back reopening. He says the next step would have to be a lockdown.
And in Georgia, the governor is reactivating a field hospital at a convention center in Atlanta. The mayor there is rolling back reopening to essential travel only. And restaurants are being asked to close for dine-in service. Governor Kemp says that order is legally unenforceable.
Let's start this morning with